Hey fans, Scott Warris previewing the Warriors Week 9 matchup with Benedictine. And who better to preview it with than the coach himself? Eric Tresky is here, and Coach will talk about the matchup with the Eagles. You have 2 home games left to round out the season, so opportunities for fans to check you guys out a couple more times. Real quick, just to reflect on last Saturday, it was a rough one down in Aurora. What was the biggest takeaway? What is the most important thing that you stressed with your guys in the day or two after? And I know it's pretty long since removed.
Yep.
But what was the biggest thing you wanted them to learn and take away from it?
I think there was 2 things. One, despite the score, there were some positive moments. There was times where Aurora's a very good football team. That's very clear. But we forced 4 turnovers. We had a couple huge pass plays and really protected the passer pretty well against, I would say, one of the better D lines in not only our league but probably in the region. So there's some positives. I think what we learned, and the whole goal we set all week long was like, hey, let's see where we're at, right? We know where they're at. Let's see where we're at. We learned is like you can't make nearly as many mistakes as we did against a team like that. And that's what you notice about Aurora. As good as their players are, we made some similar type splash plays, but they just don't make as many mistakes. They capitalize on yours. And so that's our goal is, and it has been all year, is to clean up some of those mental mistakes. It's to be assignment sound consistently, and I'm excited. This is going to be a good week to see if we can do it.
One of the things that we've talked over the course of the season about a lot of different areas, more broadly to football and to the Warriors program. One area we really haven't delved into too much, and I want to here for just a moment, is talk recruiting.
Yep.
It's such a competitive field. It always has been. And trying to get that edge on that high school student using, whatever means possible. I guess first question for you is, as somebody who was recruited, as somebody who has seen it now from both sides, the coaching, recruitment side and the player recruitment side, how has it changed in basically 20 years since you were in high school?
Oh man, it's changed so much. I would say the positive change for a student athlete is that the recruiting process, more than ever before, is literally within their hands, the power of their hands to control. Because the gatekeepers that were there before have kind of been removed. Social media, as crazy as it is, and it's also become a really valuable tool, especially in the land of football recruiting. Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it now is a platform where you have access to programs, recruiting coordinators, head coaches like myself in a moment's notice. You can literally turn your profile not into just a Twitter profile, but a recruiting profile. And there's students that are really leveraging that, which I think in the past, like the best recourse you had was a phone call, an email, or literally showing up at the door of a program. So it's let the students have more in their hands. It's also, I think, opened opportunities to more places for student athletes. I think you're more aware now of all the different programs that were taking place. We were joking before, like the first conversation I had with our football recruiter here, I didn't know about Wisconsin Lutheran College football. I didn't know this school existed, and I lived 35 minutes away. So you're just much more aware now, and I think that's helped as well.
So from a student or an athlete perspective, there's a certain empowerment that has unfolded over time. What about from the school's perspective? I mean, do you and your staff you got to find, and you've always had to find ways to stand out from the other schools, obviously, but do you find the similar challenge when it comes to social media?
Yeah, I think the benefit is just like the students. I think their array of choices is much wider now. Mm-hmm. I think it's the same from coaches. You have access to students and programs that you never could have physically traveled to before. That now I think has really helped. You look at our footprint. Over 17 states represented in our program. That's definitely helped us, especially when you're talking about smaller schools versus larger schools. Right, you're not limited maybe by your physical resources. The challenge, I think, on both sides of the recruitment process is finding out what's genuine. It can be very surface level. From a coach perspective, you're just going to get blasted by these coaches as a student athlete. And do you really have a coach that's truly interested in you and who you are and what you bring to the team and the school? And are they really invested in your future? And likewise, like how invested is the student athlete? Or are they just trying to gauge as much possible interest? You have these kids that are offer collectors, blessed to receive my 40th offer. Like at some point, that's not beneficial for either party too. So that's the hardest thing. And I think our approach has been to be, as President Johnson would say, unapologetically Christian, unapologetically who we are. I want students to know what they're in for when they come here. And sometimes that might rub people the wrong way, but you need to know what our program's about so we can create a good fit. And that's what recruiting, if you're a student athlete or a parent or anyone, like recruiting is about fit more than anything, and often that's overlooked.
What role do the current players have in the recruiting process? I mean, at some point, there's a contact made, whether it's the on-campus visit, where you and your staff, you can only make an impact so far.
Yep.
But sometimes bringing in the current guys who were in that kid's shoes a year or two ago can make an even more impact, a bigger impact, right?
Yeah, I always say, number one, our biggest recruits are already the kids on campus, the ones that have invested in us, that we're investing in. They're the ones that we're going to pour resources into to develop. But then they're also your biggest recruiters. If they're having a good experience, if they can sense that everything that we presented on the front end, that we're living up to it. I hope my guys, and I really believe, like they know we love them. They know we care about them, regardless of what they ever do on the football field. They can share that and communicate that with the guys that we're recruiting better than I ever could. Because at some point, it almost sounds like coach speak. How many teams in the country talk about family? All of them. That's a trick question. All right, but
It's true.
The way you find out if programs live it out is you talk to the players. You get testimonials. You get a chance to see. You come to a practice or a game and you watch what happens on the sideline and how the guys interact with each other, and you see the proofs in the pudding. This program is who they say they are, and I welcome it. I love when our guys want to get involved, and they've been great about it.
Warriors, this year's edition of the Warriors, have Benedictine coming into historic Robbie Stadium, 1 o'clock Saturday, 1 o'clock tomorrow, if you're watching this on Friday, obviously. Give us a little thumbnail on the Eagles. It's one of those programs that has, there was an era where Benedictine was the cream of the crop in the league. They've come back a little bit, obviously, and you guys have had some pretty good success against them in recent history.
Yeah. One of the top programs in our conference, and I really respect Coach Schrader and his staff, his team, what they've done. This is a big one for us in our program, kind of twofold. One is, we've got a group of seniors that have had Benedictine on the ropes before. We've been so close these last 2 seasons, and we just haven't been able to outlast them. So I know there's kind of a personal feeling like, those guys want to know, hey, we've made that type of progress to beat a Benedictine caliber program. And then I think the other one is, I want our seniors and I want our team to finish on a strong note. And, we've talked before, winning's never been like our number one, but for our guys to just experience progress, we have an opportunity in front of us these next 2 weeks to really make that happen.
And let's be honest, you've played well at home in recent, weeks, and you had going on a little bit of a roll, and to finish, if you can, with a couple wins on the home field, that'll leave a good taste in everybody's mouth.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time, and but it's not going to happen just because the Warriors show up. The Benedictine Eagles are going to be prepared, and we've got to be prepared for a 4-quarter battle. It's what it's been the last 2 years. It's what we expect. And I know our guys will be ready.
First Responders Day, real quickly, what goes into the celebration of that?
Yeah, so we are very blessed in our communities. We've got police, fire, EMTs, nurses, medical professionals of all different kinds that literally they sacrifice their time, many of them their lives, to protect and to serve our communities. And oftentimes I think that goes without any thank you. It's actually kind of come under fire a little bit over recent years, and sometimes rightfully so, but we want to make sure that we're honoring them. And our program, we talk, John 15:13 is our program verse, right? Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends. And I can't think of a better example than those people. So we've got partners from all different districts in the Milwaukee Police Department, Wauwatosa. We've extended invites to our neighboring communities as well. We've got representatives from the fire department that have committed as well. We've got the police band. I don't know if you know, Milwaukee Police Department has a police band, and they're going to be playing a little bit before the game. And We want to honor them and have a special day. So
Good stuff. Weather should cooperate. It'll be cool, but I think it'll be sunny.
Yeah.
And windy, but it's always windy, right?
it's always windy.
at Robbie Stadium, at
Yep.
least. Okay, before we let you go, we'll take off on this. sports.info@wlc.edu. We only have one show of these left before the season's over, if you want to send in a question. Todd in Grafton. This is, this isn't football related, but I
Okay.
think you're okay with it. Halloween is right around the corner. Your favorite Halloween costume as a kid?
As a kid, okay.
Or maybe an adult, I don't know. Maybe
No.
you're right.
I honestly don't do Halloween anymore.
Okay, good.
So just so I'm.
Nor should you, by the way. The
Yeah.
whole adult, I mean, at some point, time to grow up.
Well, can we
Sorry,
talk about
It's
Halloween?
my own comment. not
Halloween's
yours.
a little bizarre. What are we celebrating? Like let's really think about it. To me, I'm not for things that bring death. I'm for things that bring life, and I'm for celebrating
what?
the God
Real
of glory.
quick.
So
That's a T-shirt idea.
here we go.
Okay, but as a kid,
As a kid,
Yeah, as
I
a
was
kid.
naive. I did not know any better. Probably the best one was with my younger brother. We always did sports stuff, right?
Okay.
So my younger brother, he's a little Packer, and at this point in my journey, I was probably like 11 or 12, so like right on that border of should you really be out here getting candy? And so I wore a suit, and I was my brother's agent. Yeah, so I would introduce him and ask, hey, my client would like, 2 Snickers instead of 1. Can we make some sort of deal on that? Yeah, that was probably my best one.
you were like Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, it was right around the Jerry Maguire time. It was like, show me the candy, one of those things. So yeah, that was
Negotiating how much candy your brother could get.
yes.
That is
Yep.
extremely creative.
Thank you.
That
Yep.
is outstanding. And that's the show. Eric, best of skill
Yep, thank you.
against Ben Yu. Saturday, 1 o'clock. Hope to see you there at Robbie.